This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research. Welcome
to
the
podcast show.
I hate you right now. Show. Oh my gosh. Wow.
I have to create chaos, and there's not enough people here for it to happen naturally. I had to come up with something.
But hey, it worked.
I came up with that 30 seconds ago. Literally, as awesome. You were praying, I was like, I'm going to say podcast.
Yeah, dude. That's funny.
I almost said like Bigfoot show. Nah.
I can't even think of anything. So the fact that you thought of something, that was good. I was trying to think of something as a comeback, and I can't. Man, dude, it's crazy. We didn't record this last weekend. We did a double episode the weekend before.
Yep.
And then before that, you had missed a double episode. And
I think one before that.
So it feels good to be in the studio again.
Yeah.
Right now it's just Phil and I. We're going from 4 plus every week from forever ago.
It's been a while.
To now down to just the two of us for the first time.
Anyone who's missing Mike's melodic, smooth, low voice, I apologize.
Hey, Phil.
Because I will not be able to replicate it, but I will try.
We did this to you. Let's do it back to Mike. All right. Your best Mike impression. You sell this thing, and then I'll do mine.
Well, this is going to be terrible, but I'm just going to try and be smooth and kind of low and just, I just I can't. I haven't practiced this. I should have been practicing. Dang it. I just really appreciate the way that you make fun of everyone equally, Tanner. It's really great. So nice.
Dude, I was like, I'm trying to think how he even talks.
I should have been practicing.
Just got to be really quiet, but smooth, but loud, but quiet at the same time. And then your throat. There we go. Phil, I'm going to have you close your eyes.
Dude, it's so hard.
He's a very unique voice.
He's really difficult to imitate. It's a very unique
voice. That is interesting. All right, well, and I'm not going to try to imitate Courtney's voice because I can't. I can't talk at that. She's not that. I'm not that high. It's like guy.
My voice is kind of a higher register, so I feel like I could kind of do that a little bit better.
Why are you talking so much, Tanner? Let me talk.
You guys just talk over me
every time. Here, wait. You start. You imitate Courtney. Go ahead.
Why? Why do you?
There was this one.
That was perfect. Spot on. No one's gonna know the difference.
My wife. Oh, this is why they don't leave us alone and just let us record. Every time it's just us, it is so unhinged.
Yep.
I apologize if you hear a couple coughs. I'm getting over that stupid thing that went around, and I've been good for days, but I still have a cough.
I missed it. I dodged it. I don't know how, but I did.
I hope you don't get
I was taking care of Ashley when she had it, but I dodged it somehow.
But
these are definitely not the highest quality episodes, but they are some of my favorite to record just because I love chaos and you don't stop me.
Absolutely. Because I am my job is the lead facilitator.
Yes.
And so if you want to be chaotic, I'm going to dive into that, and then I'm going to just absorb your powers, and then I'm going to be chaotic back.
Yeah.
What's the is it Mystique? No, the Rogue? The superhero that when she touches you, she absorbs your power. Which one was that? She has the white hair, and then it takes their life too. But
they called her. Was it Jean? was her name in the Marvel?
Somebody somewhere is really upset at me right now, but
Storm, right? No, that's the other chick. Yeah. Wasn't that the white-haired chick, though? Dude, I don't know. I'll be honest, I never paid attention to her character or her storyline whatsoever. I don't have a problem with, like, female Marvel characters at all. Like, most of them I think were good, and she was a decent, like, she did fine acting, and like her character was okay. I just didn't care about her stuff in particular. Was she even Marvel? She was Marvel, right?
Yeah, X-Men.
Yeah.
Did
she make an appearance in the Avengers stuff at all?
I don't think
so. Dude,
I think Sony still owned the rights to that or something like that. It was where that's why they weren't in.
I'm thinking of ScarJo's character more than like I get those mixed up.
Yeah,
Black Widow. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't.
Nope. But so
everybody's mad at me.
I'm a comic nerd or whatever, but not a hardcore comic nerd. Yeah. So it's like I've got the characters I really like, and I really like them, but the side characters like that I'm I couldn't.
There are two Marvel movies. No. One Marvel movie. There's one Marvel movie that I never watched, I'm pretty sure, and it was just or at least like the Avengers universe ones. And it was Age of Ultron. That's the only one I'd ever watched, but I still don't remember 60% of them. Oh, God. I should say I watched every one of them except for that one until Endgame. I have not watched anything they've produced after Endgame, nor will I.
Yeah. There has been a couple that I've liked post, but I do want to watch the whatever they call it, the new Marvels. I haven't watched that one yet. That one looks cool, but it's got the dude from Stranger Things as the
which one?
The Hop is he's
David Harbour.
Yeah.
I like
he plays the Russian leader dude.
I like him. Cool. I like him in pretty much everything he's in. Actually, he's in a lot of movies that I had forgotten about. He's in
a good actor.
Which Equalizer. He's in the first Equalizer.
Oh, really?
Yes. He's the like kind of underboss at the money plant. The money laundering plant.
Wild.
Yeah, he's got crazy. A decent little chunk in that movie. Huh. And dude, I forgot. I was watching that again. I was like, dude, that's David Harbour. He's really good. I love him.
He is good.
Yeah, I enjoy him. He plays really good. Like, I like his characters every single time. Every time.
Yeah, absolutely. He never misses.
Speaking of Stranger Things.
Let's wait on that. Let's do because I want to talk about it.
I just wanted to ask if you want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it, but I want to intro first because I hate like those episodes where it's like I'm like listening for the intro and I have to like wait until we're like 30 minutes in.
Okay, well,
so let's do this. I'm going to refer to it as the Insane Labs Demented, and so the story on this is it's a new flavor of the dry scoop powder stuff that's basically an energy drink.
Without the drink. It's an energy.
What do they call it? Sublingual energy enhancer is what they call it.
It's non-illegal. It's not a scheduled substance.
It's just caffeine, beta-alanine, and flavor.
Yeah.
And so I purchased the new flavor when it came out because I was so excited to try it. And then like a few hours later, I won a tub. And I had this internal dilemma of like, do I cancel my order or do I just? I was like, no, I got to support these guys. They've supported us. Yeah. It was like the cost was like 16, 17 bucks. And so like it's got 50 servings in it. That's basically 50 energy drinks worth of caffeine in one little tub for 16 bucks. Yeah. And so I use this when we're driving Highway 20 late at night because there's not very many places to stop and get energy drinks. And so the boys are asleep. And the boys will be asleep. And if I stop, I know they're going to wake up and then we're going to have to sit for half an hour because we're going to have to feed Bryson and then let Bennett run around for a second. Yeah. So I could just pop some caffeine real quick.
It gets especially bad. You can go ahead and scoop it.
All right.
When you get this side of Atkinson on Highway 20, once you get past O'Neill and Atkinson, there is nowhere to stop at all.
Yeah, that is better than the cinnamon.
The other one, yeah.
Wow,
I like the smell.
That tastes like I just chewed a piece of gum. That is phenomenal. It tastes like I'm chewing gum,
bro.
But it's a powder, and that is phenomenal. Dude, I like that a lot. Insane Labs, it's the demented flavor. It's so good.
The aftertaste isn't as bad either.
It covers the beta alanine a lot better.
Yeah, the mint is really wow. That's really
because the mint passes. I will past take the that point. Yeah, that is phenomenal.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, and now I feel like I brushed my teeth. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna
that is minty. That's good.
Super good.
I like that a lot. I like that. The cinnamon was a good flavor. It was I think you said it best. It was surprisingly good. But again, cinnamon isn't my first go-to. Like, hey, I want cinnamon in my mouth. It's like
I will take spearmint over Big Red every time.
But they were making it. They were making their coffee with the cinnamon in it. They put a scoop of it in their coffee when it was brewing. Mm-hmm. They said you have to add it while it's brewing, not after the fact. And it adds just a cinnamon like sweetness to your coffee. But if you add it after the fact, it doesn't taste very good. You got to brew it with it. And so I was like, I need to try that. But
yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the Bigfoot affirmation and we'll get the intro going finally. This one's number 27. It says, hidden doesn't mean forgotten.
Ooh.
That's good.
That fits our themes very well.
That does.
My lips are tingling.
That is good stuff. That's that beta, man.
Ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
All right. So, I have another surprise for you.
Or
that was the intro going. Awesome. It's funny because like in my head, I can make the leap, but I don't always bring you guys with me.
Right.
And so sometimes I'm like, all right, and this, and then you guys are like, what?
I've never really...
We stopped talking about what?
Yeah, I've never really paid a lot of attention to it when we're recording, but I notice it when I listen back. I'm like, so that's where you put that. Okay.
Yep. I make the shift pretty well.
All right, what's your surprise?
All right, so I have...
Just give it to me!
Wait.
No!
I want to do it because I've been practicing, okay? Ready for this?
Are you all ready?
All right.
That is so dope. Do I dare put my mouth on this?
Yeah. We can clean it. Give me a second. Okay. You don't have to blow as hard as you think you do.
Oh. Dude, I want one. Did you have John make that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
I want one.
Dude, just imagine hearing that. And it's just
I'll pay you for it. I don't care.
It's 3D printed. It's obviously not made out of bone, so it probably doesn't sound.
Works. You know what? I didn't see that. I saw the temple or the pyramid, and I was like, dude, is that a death whistle? Because if it is, that's sick.
I had it sitting there, and I was like, oh, I need to hide this. And so then I was hiding it, and then you kept like looking. I'm like, stop trying to look at what's in my hand, Phil. I'm trying to surprise you.
Well done. That is so sick. I love that.
I don't know how well it turns out because the noise.
Someone is going to be listening to this late at night, and they're not going to like. They're just going to be like almost drifting off to sleep, and all of a sudden they're just going to hear.
I really hope it picks it up well because on the phone blocks the noise out for some reason when you're recording it. But I don't think the mics will because they don't block noise.
I'm excited to hear.
Yeah,
how that turns out. I am too. I hope it turns out good.
If not, I'm gonna re-record it and loop it just so that it actually.
That also fits in very well with our theme for this episode.
It does, but we should a little different.
Till, we talking about.
Yeah. We need to do current events and.
Do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the thing, or do you want to do other announcements first?
Start with. Let's start with Stranger Things. Have you finished it?
I decided not to.
You didn't. Okay.
I know what happens. I decided not to finish it.
Okay.
And by finish it, I mean entire season 5. I just said no.
So to be honest, okay. I still hold that I enjoyed season 5 minus a little bit of it.
The one aspect.
Yeah, we won't. But I did. But the thing is, in the follow-up of Stranger Things, it's been interesting because there's enough. It's like, I feel like it's a conspiracy theory. Like, have you followed any of that stuff? It's gosh, what are they calling it right now? Do you remember?
No. I'm not sure if I know what you're talking. I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure.
It's called the conformity gate.
Okay, no.
So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Throughout the season, there were little things that just didn't add up, and either they were glaring continuity errors, or there's something else that's going to happen with the show.
Okay.
The running theory that I personally have had since the conformity gate thing popped up, people were thinking that they were going to release a
movie
follow-up, like movie or episode after on the 7th, on January 7th. And the reasoning they thought was because everything revolves around 7 in the show. But I was thinking on the 12th, which this will come out after it. So I guess we'll find out if it was real or not. But my thought process was on the 12th, they're already planned to release a quote unquote documentary. And one of the inspirations from all of the Duffer Brothers is past like horror movies. And in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they came out with 6 movies. And then the 7th movie, quote unquote, it was a behind the scenes documentary where they filmed the behind the scenes stuff, quote unquote. And then the follow up of the movie was that Freddy, because the series was done, he got released from the movie and then came into the real world and then hunted all of the actual actors down. A lot of people regard it as either one of the best or one of the worst movies of all time because it was pitched as a behind the scenes or whatever.
Right.
That's one of their inspirations. Yeah. This is a behind the scenes and they're already pre-releasing it. And there's been weird things like, just like the actor who plays Vecna, he was on the Late Show and he's playing a dance instructor. And then all of a sudden he's like, and he starts counting down and he's like 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's not counting
11,
down.
Or counting up. And he gets like real serious and he's looking and he's like, and it begins. And it's like, he was counting up to 12.
That's
and
weird.
then the 12th is when they're releasing the thing. But anyway, all of that. So there's just like, I won't get myself too much into because like realistically, I think there's only like a 10% chance that they actually planned like a follow-up episode that's going to clear up the continuity errors.
Yeah.
But
save the word documentary in your head because I want to come back to that in a couple minutes after this. That's the next thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
But
so with that, like obviously I'm trying not to give any spoilers at all away because I know how angry I would have been if somebody spoiled it for me. So I don't want to give anything away, but it would be really cool if they did do a follow-up. And so if you were hesitating to watch it, like hurry up. As soon as you hear this, go through, watch it. Otherwise, you're probably going to get stuff ruined for you because I imagine if they did or if they didn't, social media is going to be full of spoilers come the 12th. Perfect. And
documentary.
Let's know. So yeah, what's the next
real quick? Okay, so 50 Cent. Did you hear about that?
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it. I am aware of it. And are you aware of the next one? Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah. Dude, I've watched it.
Okay.
I've been encouraging all of you guys to watch it. I have been encouraging my brother to watch it because he's been hesitant.
I will at some point actually re-sign up for Netflix for a free trial or borrow my father-in-law's or something. I will borrow an account. I will watch it. So for anybody who's not aware, I don't know how you live under a rock. Congratulations. 50 Cent, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson made a documentary about the Petroleum Man.
I think actually his name I think is okay to say now.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I don't think it's censored, anyway. But we called him the poof
the
diddler.
oil man's funny.
the poof diddler.
Yeah. The poof diddler.
The poof diddler.
The oil salesman, whatever. Anyway, the gas guy. BP. BP Diddy. Anyway. And exposing him for the Mordor of Tupac and who else? Wasn't there?
And Biggie. Well, in a roundabout way, Biggie as well.
So that's
and a lot of other stuff.
That's a wrap for old P Dids.
Yeah. That was the enticement of the documentary.
Yeah.
Having watched it,
there's a lot more. I gotta watch it.
Wow.
So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that he has announced his next target
That's as far as I understand as
is
well.
none other than the fake goat.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. And as a certified D1 LeBum hater, I can say I am stoked to hear about that.
Well,
I can't wait.
I'm excited to see it.
Loathe LeBron.
That's basically what 50 Cent is rumored that's his next one. I'm imagining he has enough footage from all the stuff. Have you heard about how the footage got in his possession?
No.
So one of the aspects about the poof diddler is that he is very notorious about getting people to work for him, and then as like a weird power hungry authority, like I'm the boss here, doesn't pay them. So like musicians and stuff too, what he'll do is like he'll pay them, but then charge them for him being in their video, but he charges so much that they don't get an income then. And so he paid somebody to follow him around and document him for like years, didn't pay the guy, and then all the trial stuff happens, and then 50 Cent was like, I'll buy the whole lot. And so 50 Cent bought the whole thing. And then subsequently, 50 Cent his attorneys are now trying to sue them, saying that it was private stuff. But it's like, I don't know where the line would be, because it was a good you purchased and you refused to pay for it. So therefore somebody else purchased that good.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know the legality of it.
At the end of the day,
the documentary is out.
Well, I was going to say, at the end of the day, aside from the documentary, I think when it comes to legal precedent for that being like evidence, I don't see a problem with it. I don't see how that could be a problem.
Yeah, we'll see. But either way,
I'm not aware.
But 50 Cent he's notorious about like his pettiness. Like, I don't.
The memes are so good.
If he gets sued and he doesn't earn a penny off of this, 50 Cent doesn't care.
I was gonna say he won't care anyway. He's in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't care. He's just like, because like somebody asked him like, what if they sue you? And he just had this smile. He's like, it don't matter.
He does not care.
It doesn't matter to me.
No, I appreciate. I appreciate Mr. Jackson very much. That is such a good move. And
oh my gosh, so funny.
Speaking of the love of the game, watch out, LeBron.
LeBron James. Gosh, that would be hilarious if so.
How will this affect LeBron's legacy?
Right.
But
gosh.
Anyway.
And then for this episode, I wanted to briefly talk about what's going on in Iran. Have you been following that at all?
Not really.
Brother.
Okay.
So
talk to me, Goose.
Okay. First, I want to preface it with this. So the UAE came out and has publicly said that they are limiting, and not only limiting, but trying to prevent any of their students from going to European schools, because they're afraid of their Muslim students going to Europe and then being radicalized in Europe and then coming back and joining terrorist organizations. So the UAE has now not like limited and is now actively preventing their students from going to Europe to get activated. Basically.
So they've effectively declared United Kingdom a terrorist state.
Yes. They literally have. And then on top of that, in Iran and Iran, the people are rising up against the Muslim Brotherhood that has been running their country for like 20 plus years or whatever. They are protesting to the tune of like millions in over 200 cities across Iran.
Wow.
There's footage coming out. So what Iran did was they're like, okay, we can't have anybody knowing about this because, well, one, they're going to start preventive measures, and they've already taken out hundreds of people in counter trying to prevent the protests. So then they went full blackout, cut the internet, cut power countrywide.
Wow.
Then as a result, then they eventually, I think they turned their power back on, but there was you could not have access to the internet in any way, shape, or form.
Wow.
Full cutout. So then Elon Musk is like, Starlink. And so now we're getting Starlink videos out of there. And so the protesters, and then everything going on this last week as far as the politics and the ICE stuff and the Minnesota and all that. Like, I will let people come to their own conclusions on that because people are getting heated one way or the other. And we're not about that on this show. However, I will say this. I don't care what you think about Trump. There are two things. One thing, in Iran, the people, as they're protesting their oppressive government, they are cheering and thanking Donald Trump for what he has done in order to bring them to that point. And oddly enough, thanking Israel.
Well, that I didn't see coming.
Yeah. Then you have the stuff going on in Venezuela. And this is my last current event, and we can move on. So I was listening to a guy who is in Mexico, and he's a reporter in Mexico. Okay. And he talked to one of the of Maduro's bodyguards, one of the head guys up there. And that guy is going all over the place and telling people in Mexico, you do not mess with America. What you think they have as far as technology, they're more advanced than you think they are. And he said what he saw on his end of what happened was 20 men is what it took. And he said prior to them even showing up, and there were thousands of Venezuelan soldiers. Well, they weren't Venezuelan soldiers. They were soldiers from Cuba and another country. But because Maduro wouldn't use citizens because citizens hated him.
Right.
And so
he had private military.
Yeah. Yep. So there were like 1,000 private military that were on his compound or whatever. Oh. And before they showed up, he said, you didn't hear a thing. And then boom, it's instantly
just in there.
And no, instantly all of the soldiers keeled over, started bleeding from the nose, and like were incapacitated. Like all of them. And he said the few that weren't likely were the ones who ended up getting hit. And he said that of those who then did have a chance to retaliate once they just like showed up. And he's like, they were, whatever their technology is, they didn't show up on any of the radar. And they had what they claimed was some of China's best radar. And these planes and drones just showed up. There was nothing on the radar. They were just there. And even the helicopters just showed up. You should have been able to track the helicopters.
Right.
Slow moving, And so then 20 soldiers, and of those 20 soldiers, they didn't even get close to hitting them. And those 20 soldiers took out hundreds of the ones who were fighting back.
Dude. And
he said, whatever technology you think America has, it's more advanced than you think they are. And he's telling these guys, the president, the other president that was taunting Trump a little, like a day later, was like, whatever, you take Maduro, you can come get me. He's like, I wouldn't do that because where you think he is, he's farther, and he's telling that to like Mexico. And so now you're starting to see a weird divide because the high ranking officials in these countries are terrified.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to cut ties with the drug company or the drug gangs, the cartels, and the other, what's the trend or whatever. They're starting to cut ties with the cartel and stuff because they're so afraid of what could happen if they continue down that path.
That's crazy.
Excuse me. And so you're starting to see this weird, and because all of a sudden Mexico and what is the other country? My brain is just blank right now. All of a sudden they shut up. And he's saying the reason they shut up was because the bodyguards started coming around telling them what happened, and they're terrified.
Dude.
And I was like, okay, we talked, a lot of people have talked about, that kind of stuff. But here's the thing.
I've seen enough. Triple the defense budget.
So part of the reason for real
war budget now,
I've been seeing a lot of like the Air Force videos on TikTok now. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so BA now after the Venezuela thing. But anyway, one way or the other, whether you agree with it or not, I don't care. For the Venezuelan people, this was again, and it goes to Iran, Iran and Venezuela. Like, their people are celebrating. They love what happened. Yeah. And I don't even necessarily want to get into the politics of it here because people can decide that later on.
So what a lot of people have been talking about, and I have to agree, is like, you just can't deny how sick that is. To have, dude, 20 guys, send in 20 guys against that level of like military force, and just not a single casualty, like a couple hour extraction, just in and out, no leaks. by the way. Zero. Nobody had any idea it was coming.
Yep.
Dude, literally like one day is up there like, yeah, come get me. I'll be right here.
Yeah.
And like the next morning he wakes up and there's freaking a dozen Delta guys just snacking chips in his room, just like, morning, brother.
Let's go. Load up. Okay, can I?
That's
okay,
insane.
very, very briefly, because I don't want to take too long, because I really want to get to the episode. But can I give you my theory? So I don't. Okay, I love what has happened. The best part of me wants to believe that Trump just did it to free the Venezuelan people. Politics don't work that way. But people are like, Trump just did it for the oil so that America could have oil. I don't think so.
I don't either.
Here's what I see. So people are talking about, they're afraid, they're like, oh, well, now China is just going to do it to Taiwan. Problem. China gets their oil from their two main importers are Venezuela and guess the other country? Iran. So now all of a sudden, neither one of them are supplying their oil to China. So cost-wise, to regulate that now, China can't invade Taiwan because the cost of the oil for them would be far too high.
They also...
It would take way more oil than they can get, and so the price would skyrocket, and then they wouldn't be able to manufacture stuff. They would have to put it into their military agency. And the secondary thing is, I think Trump did it just to show China whatever you think you can defense-wise, you can't.
Well,
and so that they're afraid of escalating.
You got my wheels turning. I'm thinking bigger picture. If China doesn't have their cheap oil, yeah, they still have their cheap labor, but they're not going to be able to keep the prices as competitive as they have been either. Like, they're not going to be ahead of American manufacturing, especially by the margin that they were.
With their dropping population, too.
So that might be a big enough deal to where, you know what, we can start really manufacturing competitive pricing in America again, and we can bring the economy back into our hands. That would be, if that's the case, Trump will go down in history as the best president the USA has had, maybe ever. Definitely up there. Like just in terms of effectiveness.
Yeah.
Like that knocks everybody else out.
Right.
By a huge margin.
One of the other things is people are like, oh, he just wants the oil. But he offered and he set it up to purchase 50 million barrels at market value. That's not cheaper for us if you're buying it at market value.
Right.
We're paying them what it's worth.
Right.
But that 50 million barrels is now no longer going to Russia or China.
Well, and aside from that,
they chased down an oiler.
Yeah.
Like they chased down an oiler for like 5,000 miles to ensure that it didn't end up in Russia. Like that's the extent. And so that tells me that it wasn't,
well, you know what else?
It wasn't solely about the Venezuelan president. I think it was more about the blockade of the oil.
You know what else that does? That also sets a precedent of, hey, we want to do business with people. We want to do business with countries that have resources, and we want to treat them reasonably like a business partner. Because that's what we said before we elected him. That was like a big argument for Trump is he's a businessman. Yeah. We want a businessman in there. We want someone who knows how to operate stuff, not just, political. And so like, dude, if that, imagine other countries that have resources, but a crappy government seeing how Venezuelan gets treated. Oh, we help them overthrow a dictator. We can actually like become a prosperous country and be business partners with the U.S. Dude.
Well, and if
that'd be huge.
If it works and the old kingdom or whatever takes back over the country, like they've already basically said like they're good to do business with people and stuff. Dude. And so, and it does another thing. So if Venezuelan oil and Iranian oil are now available for Europe doesn't have to depend on Russia anymore. Dude. So love it or hate it, whatever's going on.
That's a different world trade
Venezuela is, and I think a lot of people underestimate the two things that Venezuela is the most noted for is they're a top three producer in oil, and they're the number one producer in natural resources. What are the two things Trump has been trying to get? Oil and natural resources. And so if he can tap into the Venezuelan, again, the geopolitical thing, we've talked a lot about how our country has never been exactly honorable with a lot of that stuff.
Right.
Of the dishonorable things our country has done in order to topple governments, this is this is one of the ones where I'm like, dude, the people want it.
Yeah, this is good for everybody.
Voted. They clearly already voted. This guy wasn't even actually the president.
Yeah, no, he
was. He had stolen the authority. The actual president is like thanking Trump for this.
Yeah,
and so it's like the actual president asked Trump for help. So the actual president of Venezuela is the one who asked Trump for help in the first place.
Yeah,
and so for me, but anyway. Moving on.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the episode. But I do want you to keep one thing in your memory when we start talking about the Peruvian face peelers of what just happened in Venezuela when it comes to what they're reporting our government, what happened. Versus what news is saying. News is like, oh, we just went in, we destroyed all their anti-air missile stuff, and we took them, and that's what it was. And whereas the people on the ground are like, their technology,
everyone just died.
We all were incapacitated, bleeding from our noses. We don't know what happened. They showed up like ghosts. We couldn't hit them even if we tried. It was like we were shooting ghosts. Yeah. And like those are two totally different stories. Okay. Yeah. So
that does actually shed some light on one of my or something that I definitely was thinking of as like a talking point or like part of. Yeah, we'll get into
absolutely
it. Time for it. It's time.
So the Peruvian face peelers.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear those words?
Okay, so realistically,
what's the image in your head?
I think of something along the lines of like a skinwalker or something like that.
Okay.
Like a skinwalker with nails.
My first thought is just Predator. This is the inspiration for Predator. And it might actually be. Like, I didn't look that up.
Okay.
I should have.
Yeah.
But my first thought is just Predator. Especially, like, thinking of, like, the way they describe the thing. Yeah. It actually, I really do kind of wonder if that's the inspiration for Predator.
For sure.
Whether it's actually known that or not.
Once I do a little bit of research, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Just the name alone, it evokes a weird, like, cryptid creature.
Jungle, just snatching people up and taking their face off. I'm like, oh, that's Predator. They just, instead of, like, ripping their skull and vertebrae out and, hanging the body skinned, like, flayed in a tree, it's like, it's just taking their face.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is that this is one of the first. So anybody who is not familiar with this at all, they're coming into this thinking, oh, cryptid, they're going to do a new cryptid, whatever.
Yeah.
This might be one of the very few quote unquote cryptids that I don't think is a cryptid. This is one of the few cryptids that personally, I don't think it is an animal or a creature. I don't think there could be a mistaken identity of like, oh, this is a random creature.
No.
Like that's not what this is.
No, not at all.
And so whatever, if you've never heard of it, whatever you think you're thinking of, probably the exact opposite is where we're going with this. But
this might be the closest thing to probably alien that we have talked about.
Yeah. Pretty much. So the face peeler in the local tribe. So this takes place in Peru, obviously. And specifically in tribes along the river. Yeah,
one village in particular, San Antonio de la Puelica. I'm going to butcher it. I meant to write it down and I forgot.
So
they call it San Antonio. It was referred to as in the main like video that I watched.
Yes,
documenting this.
And their name for it is it's one or the other. Palacaras.
That's the one I heard.
Which is defined as that kind of predator. And then the other one is, it looks like it says fish taco, but it's a P. So it's pish taco. Pish taco. No, it's so pistaco.
Pistaco?
Pistaco.
Pistaco.
Pistaco. Yeah. Which can be translated as outsider, predator, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That one is, and it's the pistaco is a older term.
Pedicales is the one that I heard
Yes.
the most.
So to kind of get the background of the names to where they got that name. So the pistaco, that one actually gets its name from prior to the events that took place in 2023 and 2020, post 2022.
Yep.
That name actually came from the colonial period. And in the colonial period, back then, they would use fat to grease like bells and machinery and stuff like that to lubricate it.
Okay.
And there was a local, or I don't know if it was local or maybe it was like worldwide, but there was this belief that actually human fat was the best one.
Oh.
So there were people who would literally go around and they were like industrial people, like the outsiders, the invaders, we'll call them that, who would come in and literally kidnap people who were like walking alone or whatever and cut their skin and then take their fat. Culturally, it's tough because their culture really regards the human body and the fat as like very sacred. And to take the fat and then use it as like machinery or whatever is so insulting.
Abhorrent. Yeah.
It is absolutely. And so,
which, to be fair, I agree with.
I also agree with, yes.
But not so much because of the sacredness of that, but just principle of the use. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to put a trigger warning on the beginning of this one, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Like, actually.
Well, on that part, maybe, yeah. But that was, and so, and that continued on even after that era, because some cosmetic companies started using on the black market human fat for their cosmetics. And so that has rumored to have continued even to today. And in I believe it was 2020. I don't have the note right here, but there was 2 people who were seized by local authorities who had, it was like 23 jars, number 23, don't quote me on that, but jars of what they eventually tested as human fat. And the price tag on these things in the black market is $36,000 per gallon. So it's literally a black market like thing. And that is where
there ain't a lot that makes me like nauseous. That is so, ugh.
That is where the
pistaco,
the term, but also the lore really gets started. So when you think about what happened in 2022 and why they named it that, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
So that's the lore of the quote unquote the pistaco face peeler in what we say in English, but even though it doesn't mean that, like it's like outsider face peeler.
Yeah.
No. Outsider face peeler. Yeah. No. How about this other one that means predator face peeler? But part of the
that
the
kind
lore,
of predator.
But part of the lore was they would literally like peel the faces in order to get all of the fat. And so yeah. So now let's fast forward. That's the unfortunate history.
Yeah.
You know, fast forward into the modern timeline. And you said, so you saw the documentary and stuff
I've listened to
Tim Alberino.
Yeah, right? I watched a good portion of Tim Alberino's after action report because he went down in 2023. Is that when he went down?
Yes.
And like thoroughly investigated these reports that came from this village in Peru, which he referred to in short as San Antonio.
Loreto. The name of the village it says in Loreto, where the rivers are roads and a town can be 10 hours away by boat, is what this says. So maybe the region is Loreto?
I think the region was Loreto. Yeah, I could be wrong, but he referred to it several times as San Antonio, as a place that he went. Maybe I had the village name wrong.
You're good. I'm going to keep looking
but anyway,
while you talk.
So basically, there was a few viral videos from this village that people took on their smartphones of what appeared to be like flying, I don't know how you want to explain it, creatures, beings, something.
Giant? Tall?
They were pretty tall. I think they were not like insanely tall, but like
a little taller than me.
Jokic, Yao Ming tall, like 7 feet ish, between 6.5 and 7 feet tall is kind of what the description was. And they would like fly or float around on these like circular platforms. And then they could also like get off of the platforms, and they had like little floating devices on their shoes, which are also circular, or like that was their shoes. And they would like float around, and like they were attacking people. And like this entire village like spent a good portion of a year like fighting these things off. Everyone in the village was armed.
Yeah.
They started like, and Tim got into this part later, but like there were people that were like, their families, which were spread over the like a few houses, were sleeping together in one house to like stay concentrated. The most, I will say this right now because this blew my mind. The most
Iquitos.
That
was the name of the city.
Okay.
This is what this is.
Okay. The most persuasive thing to me, as far as like, holy smoke, this is absolutely real. There is no way that this is being misinterpreted or mislabeled by these people. They're not confused. They are it's either mass hysteria over the course of a long time, or there's something seriously dangerous here because they perceive a serious danger. Did you watch the video?
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw they leveled like several square miles of jungle. Yeah. They hacked down several square miles of jungle because the trees provided cover for these things, and they didn't want them to be able to get close without being able to see them. These people with primitive tools, pretty much, hacked out several square miles of thick jungle to like provide a buffer zone between their village and cover for these beings.
Yeah.
The amount of effort to do that, especially because they literally stopped going out to harvest their crops. Yeah. Like that's a huge deal for them. Nobody they were running low on supplies. Tim took supplies to them because they literally were not able, they were going to like starve to death probably if they continued at like the way they were going, because they wouldn't go out at all, especially at night. Nobody went out at night. And so, yeah, it was insane, like the amount of effort that they went to without having proper like rations, like sustainable food supply already. Like they were low on what they needed. Yeah. And then it kind of culminated, I guess, and this was like one of the two like videos that really got traction. Was this like 15-year-old girl, I think, got attacked by one of these things, and like they tried to abduct her. And there was video of like her being in like a chemically induced unconscious state as a result of her interaction with these things.
They're trying like even just to calm her down.
And like and a couple of cuts on her neck,
and then one at the edge of her face too, wasn't there?
I didn't see that.
But either way, it was pretty bandaged up when I saw it.
So I saw the actual the incisions.
Oh, okay.
There was a video they took that night. I think it was her dad took a video of her laying there, and it showed the incisions. You do need to go back and watch, because I want you to look at those incisions and see what you think, because to me, it looked like at least a hot knife, if not just heat and not a blade. Yeah. An object didn't do that on its own. There was heat involved, and I'm kind of getting ahead of it, but so her story was basically that she was out back like picking fruit from a tree that was like out back of her house, like next to her house, within a few feet of her house at night or late evening. And these two of these things, whatever you want to think of them as, approached her on these like hoverboard type things and landed and accosted her and like grabbed her. There were two of them. The one like grabbed her, wrapped her up from behind and put its hand over her mouth so she couldn't scream. The other one like grabbed her legs, and then they tried to like, they started to use whatever tool Tim interpreted as like a laser scalpel.
Yeah.
And started to cut on her neck. And then she was able to kind of kick free and screamed, and then neighbors and family all rushed out and ran towards the things, and then they took off.
Yeah, because they've been on high alert.
Yep, everybody.
The second they heard the scream, everybody
was there, and the things took off from there. They hopped on their board and skedaddled.
Yeah.
But they had also, before they started cutting, they put this like powder and cream. They mixed powder and cream and like smeared it on her face. Yeah. And she said her face started to swell up and went numb. And then, so this is where Tim had a bit of he wasn't 100% sure that she was remembering everything correctly, but she seemed to believe, whether she actually heard them speak or maybe maybe once they interact with you, there's like a telepathy type thing. This is me guessing here, but like, I'm just spitballing. Maybe like there's some sort of mind connectivity between them. Like once they touch you or once they put the cream on or whatever, but the one being apparently said to the other, according to her, don't put too much. You'll ruin the flesh. The flesh will stick to the face or the skin. The flesh will stick to the skin or something like that, which I thought was, this sounds so insane to even say out loud, but that's what she thought happened.
In Spanish.
In Spanish, by the way, yes. And the one allegedly had, according to her, had like an accent.
The one that responded back to him, spoke in Spanish with a American accent.
Yep. So, and that, I know where you're thinking of, like, I know where your brain's going, but, so that was kind of like the big incident. Once they took off, they took her inside and she was like unconscious for a while. Yeah. Like a while, I think. And, then she, kind of came around and, Tim said that she was like trembling when they first approached her, and
you could see it
like she
in the
was
video. She just even recalling it.
Yeah,
it was like it
she
brought back memories. Whatever it was.
Yeah,
there was real trauma there.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
Whatever it was, there was real trauma.
Yep. So I find now to kind of lean into where I know your brain is going.
We don't need to go there yet.
Well, I'm just going to lean in that way because I want to describe these things according to what Tim found from his reports. And everybody agrees with all of this.
Yeah.
Everybody in the village says they saw the exact same thing. They describe it the same way. These beings are like pretty tall, between like 6.5 and 7 feet tall. They have body armor, black body armor on, metal, like breastplates, stuff like that. They have backpacks that are not fabric. They're like hard shell backpacks. I never really got if they were like, if those were metallic as well, or if they were like a hard rubber type thing. Yeah. Molded plastic. I don't know. They have
stiff.
Yeah. Hard. They have like an elongated helmet, that has like, was this part of everyone's description or was this the girls? The like almond colored, or not almond colored, almond shaped eye slits that are like yellow.
Yep. And they glow.
They glow.
Yep.
And then they pretty much always come in sets of twos. Sometimes there's like a group of pairs of twos, but they always come in twos. And then 2 of them can be on the hoverboard thing at a time. And then they can hover on their shoes, but on the boards, they can like accelerate really quickly and get like more height, I think. And then they have like ships kind of.
Yeah. They would go to bigger ships.
And the one guy from the village said he saw, I can't remember if it was that night or if it was a different night, but he was looking up at one of these like crafts and it was like see-through and he could see the pilots, the quote unquote people inside the ship moving.
Yeah.
So do with all of that whatever you will, but everyone agrees in this village that these are real things. It's kind of a 50-50 toss-up on whether people believe they're people or aliens, but they're a thing, and they're not what the Peruvian police investigation concluded to be.
Hold up on that.
Okay.
Just one quote from everybody that is interviewed that shoots at them is one piece of information that's important.
Yes.
Gunfire doesn't stop
They are
them.
impervious to gunfire. Timothy went into some pretty significant detail on that. These people have traps out in the jungle that shoot. They're like a barrel or can or something like that will shoot a modified shotgun. They all have shotguns, but they modify their cartridges to shoot not just like birdshot. It's not that kind of shot. It's more damaging than that. They're very destructive ammunition, and does nothing. Nothing to them.
Nothing.
It's completely impervious. So, but anyway, so the official conclusion of the investigation conducted by Peruvian police, and then this is the narrative that American press ran with as well, because America has to be the final say on everything, was that they were river miners with jetpacks.
Illegal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Illegal miners. Yeah.
Illegal miners with jetpacks.
That they were stealing the gold from the rivers.
Yeah.
And then using jetpacks
to go
to try to
terrorize people and abduct young girls.
And the crazy thing is that they were like, okay, this is the thing, and they told the story and they moved on. But let's take a step back just a second.
Please.
Okay.
By all means.
Where are these illegal miners getting jetpacks?
I want one. I want a friggin' jetpack or hoverboard or whatever the heck that thing is.
Even if it is, let's say it is just what their government is saying.
Yes, let's.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can move on. And now let's say it is what all of the villagers say it is. What?
Yeah.
One way or the other, this is confirmed. It is real. It is happening.
Yes.
They have bodies. It's not like this girl was the first thing that popped up. They had found people, and those traps, they would hear them late at night. The traps would go off, and they would go look in the morning, and there'd be nothing except for big round footprints through the mud. Mm-hmm. And the traps would go off, and nothing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. What?
I'm trying to find my screenshots. Here we go.
And I want to encourage anybody, and Tim Alberino is not the only source on this, but he did do a very comprehensive, thorough investigation. He did a very thorough investigation.
He interviewed,
documentary,
and
everything.
so if anybody that doesn't know anything about him, which I didn't know a lot about him before, but my mom's mentioned him a few times. Some of the stuff he's talked about he seems to be pretty reliable in terms of his investigation.
A lot of people like him a lot.
He's spent a lot of time in that part of the world. He has lived for extended periods of time, years in South America, fairly close to that area actually. And he's familiar with their customs, traditions. He knows those people, and he is part of their world. He's spent a lot of time down there. He's familiar with that culture. He's very well versed in it. There's no chance of misinterpretation.
Right.
He knows what's happening now. He knows what's up.
He's gone down and stayed for I think he now owns property there.
Yeah.
From what I've understood, because he tries to go back often enough, because he's once this happened, he was there's more to this, and I want to find the bottom of it. And so he is some of the stories he's told, just he knows the people, he knows the culture. Not obviously as much as somebody local would, but to the point where as far as an American could know their culture, he's probably one of the most. Mm-hmm. And so, with that.
Yeah.
I haven't always been a huge supporter of Tim Alberino on the show. If anybody has been listening since the beginning, but I will say the things that I don't like about Tim Alberino, this is not one of those things.
Yeah.
And again, I don't dislike Tim Alberino. It's not because I actually really like the guy. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason I'm suspicious of him is because he seems too perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about a little bit, he's like this suave Indiana Jones that it like could be an actor in movies kind of dude. Just in there seems to be nothing wrong, and it's like this curated guy who seems to always have the answers. To me, that a lot of times screams red flag.
Right.
It doesn't scream, this dude is awesome. I'm now curious,
right. But my counter to that, which I threw at you beforehand and you agreed, is that like the production quality of his channel and like the way that he presents himself does not agree with that. Like he doesn't seem like he's turned this into his living to the point that like he's making really good money off of it. It's not like he has become a celebrity. It's not like he's gained a huge following from this. It's just, but it is, I agree. Like his the way he comes across is like, what's wrong with you? No, like what there's gotta be something. But, no, I think he did a very, good job covering this particular thing, at least. It's just such a crazy thing. But like you said, it's like, this is covered. There's enough people that have looked into this and like presented compelling evidence. And just the fact of like where it is and who it is and their culture and like the amount of effort that has been put by these people into dealing with this and the amount of unrest and discomfort that they have had to endure because of it just screams to me, this is real. Whatever it is, it's real. And it's also, their lore on this thing goes back a long ways as well.
Yes, very much so.
Like 100+ years, like a long ways. Like this thing has been in that area apparently for a long, long time. Yeah,
it's just
the degree
there were some
of
events that occurred that just kind of like heightened the attention on it.
The height
and the government's announcement of like this is real and this is this and like that came out shortly after. And so it's just like, oh, this is in the media.
Yeah. And so it's like and what do you do with it? I don't know. I did find, so I'm just looking before I got into Alberino's video. I just kind of Googled that, not Googled, I was on Brave, but face peelers, Peruvian face peelers.
Yeah.
And have you watched through all of the Y files?
No, but I did watch through his on this.
Okay. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So somebody on Reddit mentioned something about Y files on YouTube about monsters of Antarctica, where there was also a monster that they called a strider and would razor off people's faces and then kill them with surgical cuts. And this description was relatively similar. They're white, very tall, and can leap many feet in one bound. That was an exact description from Alberino of the abilities of these things. They could jump over like buildings and stuff.
Well, let's put that on a future episode. So, what is it called?
A strider.
Okay.
Is what they referred to it as in Antarctica. So, I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah. I had, that was the only, I didn't look any farther into that.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Sweet.
So,
that's interesting. I'll have to look that up.
Weird how things in Antarctica and stuff, you know? But,
well, okay. So, this is where, okay, and I'll preface this, what I'm going to go into a little bit with, I think one of the things I didn't want to do is spend all of our time just retelling the small details. Right. Because there's so many other people who have done that and done it very well.
Right.
Who their job is telling these stories.
They looked at the trees, we're going to look at the forest.
Job. Yes. Exactly.
But you kind of got to acknowledge that there's trees in there and what kind they are. Yeah. So we've done that.
So, dude, also bravo. You like literally your notes lined up perfectly with mine. And I am glad you ran with it because that was perfect. So then now I can follow up with my notes.
Yes. Good.
So
excellent.
Theories. What are they? My first thought long time ago was how we talk about how the Nazguls, the Third Reich, found their way into South America and could pursue technology and stuff like that. That used to be my 100%. I think that's what this is.
I still think that's a viable theory. I think it's plausible.
I've found some things.
Okay.
Have 180'd my opinion.
Okay.
So I'm going to start first theory. That second theory. Possible like Nephilim kind of thing because they're all tall, big, strong, and their technology is super advanced and stuff like that. That seems to track with Old Testament and early on Nephilim and stuff like that. A weird obsession. The model kind of follows the same as like the Watchers would because they watch and they observe from the outsides, which they would do. The reports started with they were in the shadows and around the outside, and then they would watch and they would learn. After learning, they would eventually choose their targets and they would wait until they were alone, and then they would pop in, they would extract, they would do the thing, and then withdraw out. And so with the Watchers, we can kind of see somewhat similar of the technique of just kind of watching, and so, okay, fun. That's a reach for me a little bit just because there's too much technology for it to be spiritual for me on this one. Okay. So then I started going down a rabbit trail. Okay. You're going to like this rabbit trail. Okay,
Okay, is this your final one, or is there one more after?
This will bleed into my final one, so go ahead and...
Okay, so the thing that I know people are thinking, because I know it's a reasonable thought, okay? The tech and what we were talking about beforehand with the Maduro thing. Military. Right? Super advanced military tech and just people testing it out or whatever. My problem with that is the behavior. Like, why the heck? Why the heck? Just why? Why the heck would you be doing all the things that you're doing if that's what it is? Why are you trying to kidnap a 15-year-old girl and take her face off? Why are you terrorizing a tiny village in Peru? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Is that kind of where you're going?
It's going to lead into this.
Okay, perfect.
You perfectly asked the same questions I asked.
Good.
So, my question was why? And so I started thinking a little bit more. So they said, well, it was people coming in and stealing gold, resources. We already talked about how precious metals and that kind of stuff is. The value of them is skyrocketing. Okay. So I started looking into some, I'm researching this while I'm learning about the Venezuelan stuff a little bit. So I started asking a couple of connecting questions. The question I asked was, historically, is there any evidence that our CIA has done anything like this?
Uh-oh.
The answer is
yes.
Yes, they have.
Dang it.
Okay, so let's start. First case. There's more than one. First case, early 50s. Our intelligence agency at that time were... It sounds so dumb when I say it out loud, but they pretended to be vampires in the Philippines.
Please, by all means, elaborate on that.
They exploited a local belief that already existed in the aswang, which is a vampire-like creature. So then the U.S. and the Philippine forces captured a Huck insurgent, killed him, drained the blood from his neck, and then left the body posed as though vampires had attacked him. So the goal was to convince the guerrillas in the area that it was haunted or cursed by the already pre-existing, and they basically set up this psyop to try to dissuade the guerrillas to not go into this area worked like a charm.
Yeah, I bet it did.
And all of a sudden, this area is cursed. We can't go into this area. Okay, so now let's continue into Vietnam and the Philippines as well. We're continuing into the 60s. This is all documented, released information. This isn't like...
Fantastic.
This isn't a theory. This is actual documentation has been released.
It's a good thing we're the world police or every one of us would hang.
Oh, gosh. So then in the Philippines and Vietnam, they would use loudspeakers to display what they called the ghost voice in order to try to make it seem like where they were operating and stuff like that was trying to instill terror and broadcast these quote unquote disembodied voices at night using loudspeakers in the jungles. And so they were trying to frame it as like it was the spirits of the dead and it was the ancestors of the people who had died or the soldiers coming to haunt them. The one example specifically was called the Operation Wandering Soul. And so the technique there was they played recordings saying things like, I am dead. I am suffering. Go home before it's too late. In like disembodied voices, like making it sound. And from what I understand, like it was so legit that even the people who knew what was going on didn't want to go in. Like it was that scary.
Wow.
And so they were already basically trying to exploit the already existing cultural belief that improper burials trap the soul. So it causes fear, desertion, psychological stress. And so some Viet Cong units actually fled the area because of this one operation. And others that didn't flee became enraged and just because the sheer anger of the situation. And I got to fight back for the lost brothers. And we began just fighting super aggressively. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, this one is real. Also documented. Now we have the Cold War. Now we have the fake omens and curses. Basically, the CIA would go through Southeast Asia, parts of Africa, and Latin America, and they would plant rumors specifically in these areas and talk about the locations being cursed and there were bad spirits that were tied to certain villages, and talk to them about how there were certain religious taboos being violated. And so what they were trying to do was just basically create the amplification of like rumors and bad curses and stuff like that in order to control the people in the area and get them riled up and like ready to fight back. And so we see many examples, and now we're basically leading up to modern time where we now no longer have the Freedom of Information Act on some of this stuff. And so if historically our CIA, and those are the ones that are like, we can prove those.
Right.
Those are the
you got to assume there's more.
We know our CIA did this and it was something that they did commonly.
Yep.
But the rumors go crazy because there's rumors that even as far back as like that our government was pretending to be skinwalkers and trying to affect the Navajo tribes. You have situations where some people think that Mothman was actually our government trying to protect an area that had Cold War munitions that were banned. And so trying to keep people out of that area so that they wouldn't go into the woods and look for the munition storage places. Conspiracy theory on that. Then you have like the all the stuff in New Jersey, the UFO stuff that happened, the UAP, the orbs and the that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden Trump gets in office and it's like, oh, it was just they were all licensed. We're good. Move on. What is going on? It was a huge distraction. And so we see this, there's rumors, we have the actual
there's historical precedent for this.
And so my brain kind of connected two and two together and was like, you shoot at them, you can't hit them. They seem to just show up out of nowhere. You don't even realize they're there and then they're there. And they can literally kidnap. They can take the leader of a country in front of thousands of his men and none of them even get affected. Their spacecraft isn't even, their drones aren't even touched. The anti-air defense stuff isn't even touched. what if, and this is a fun what if, again, everything is just fun in here. It's all for fun and games. What if this is our CIA running rogue in order to collect resources and run things? Now let's play the bigger picture just for funsies, just to make it let's exaggerate it a little bit. So we know from Operation Paperclip that, the Nazgul's Third Reich, they came to America in the span of thousands. And so they also went to South America in the span of tens of thousands, if not, hundreds of thousands. What if they're all just playing in together in order to take over the natural resources without having to go through and work with the local government? And then why the local government was like, oh, they were just miners with jetpacks. Move on. Yeah. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was like, hey, this is what it is. Shut up about it.
Okay.
Why would they be so just shut up about it if they weren't afraid of what it was?
Let me satisfy kind of multiple theories.
That was just a funsies.
Let me just throw in one more to the pot. What if the tech that they have that allows for the floating, flying, that stuff all, what if they got that from the Nazgul who got that from the Nephilim?
Possible, yeah.
It's all of them. All the theories are kind of the same, like together. Just, yeah. Yep. All of them working together.
And I know that it's not even in the same, they're very different countries, different areas. One's in North America, one's in South America. But we started off with the death whistle. And I'm going to close with the death whistle. But was there anything else you wanted to say before we close
I think that pretty well covered it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of question marks attached to this one.
Yes.
The thing that
this is an ongoing investigation.
I was going to say, this isn't like over either. Like this is such a crazy, the amount of attention that this got and the degree of certainty that I have that it's at least real. Now, what it really is, I don't know. Like that's a tough one. If it's like secret military tech, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning, after you mentioned the Maduro's head security guy, like talking about how that all went down, like that kind of affected the way I was thinking about it. I was like, dang, man, maybe like I've always thought we were quite a ways ahead in terms of military tech of where we appear to be. But I guess I don't think an awful lot about what that looks like. Like, what is ahead of what I think is there? Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me we can just make people's brains start bleeding without touching them? That's insane. Right. Yeah. You mean to tell me we have freaking see-through ships and hover? Oh, there was cloaking technology. That was the thing I forgot to say. Yeah. Which, again, just my brain goes Predator. Maybe Predator was the inspiration for this instead of the other way around. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But anyway, they seem to have that kind of tech. So you mean to tell me that we have the tech to make people's brains bleed without touching them? We have the tech for cloaking devices and see-through ships, or like invisible ships and hoverboards and laser scalpels? Oof, brother. If we do, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I would, as a very selfish person, I would rather that we have the technology than that, like, say, China does.
Oh, for sure.
I would rather it be us. But that's just because I'm a selfish person. I would rather it be us.
Well, I also will say, as far as now, not that any of it's ethical by any stretch, but at least I think that a lot of the the stuff that the CIA does eventually is meant to lead to good things. It seems like there is useful and beneficial things that come out of their really unethical, messed up experiments and operations, as opposed to like some madman in friggin' China or somewhere in the Middle East, like a dictator just being like, kill everything.
Right. Yeah.
Just dominate the enemy. Yep. Whoa, let's think a little deeper than that.
Yeah. And one thing though is that the one girl said that the one with the American accent speaking Spanish was giving instructions to the one speaking Spanish. So that would imply that the American was the one in charge.
Is that the way it went?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember for sure.
I'm pretty sure that the one speaking Spanish.
It was kind of tough to keep track.
Yeah, and I could be completely mistaken on that, but that's what that was my impression.
I don't know if I specifically said this. Nobody else that was approaching as the conversation was being had heard them. Nobody else heard them say anything. She's the only one.
She's the only one.
So, like, the cream and powder had something to do with her being able to use stuff,
or just proximity. That like
it could be
the way that quiet. The way they were talking was very closed in.
Right.
You know, maybe something like that. I don't know.
I don't know either. It was weird. It's some crazy stuff either way. But
yeah.
Death whistle.
But with that, don't forget to be your
biblically accurate best.
And don't forget to like, subscribe. And I do want to actually also add, I did take a lot of this information that we got from Tim Alberino, the Y-Files, those guys that can do a little bit more in depth than what we try to do on the show. Because we don't want to do the in depth. We want to speculate.
Right.
And man, that was a fun one to speculate.
This is a comedy podcast.
Yes. So don't take everything by heart, but man, it plays into big.
That's such a crazy story.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other good stuff in that too.
Yeah.
Go watch Tim Alberino's.
If anything else pops up, we'll probably do a part 2 on this just because it is an ongoing thing.
We should dive into the Antarctica one.
I put it on my list. Maybe that's what we do next, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway. I literally threw it on my list if also I want to say, if you had anything that you want us to talk about, reach out, let me know. We love having ideas. We want to talk about what you want to hear. And maybe it's something we don't even know. Because like the face peelers thing, if you didn't happen to know who the Y-Files or Tim Alberino was, you probably have no idea. You probably never heard anything about this.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those things where it's like, sometimes there's things like this that happen, these events that happen. And if we don't know about them, you might know.
Someone listening to this has heard of something that we have not and probably won't if you don't talk about it. So
And our gifting,
tell us about it.
Exactly. And our gifting is speculating. And so let us speculate with you. Hit us up. Let us know. And we'll do the research and speculate. But with that, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all those things. And we love you guys. Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?